with Bruja today. I am teaching you how to use the Bruja chocolate. For those especially around the Chicagoland area, you probably have tried my hot chocolate at some point, and if you haven't, you should visit me. So I was a little bit maybe blinded by the fact that not everybody knows how to use these chocolate bars, and it had me reconsider how do I present the packaging and all that good stuff, which is really good feedback. So I really appreciated for everybody who reached out and was like, okay, do I chew on this? This is kind of hard, etc., etc., etc. So I started doing hot chocolate, or making the chocolate bars, the Mexican chocolate bars, because I wanted a more sustainable chocolate. I didn't really think about the history or any of that stuff while making the chocolate. I just knew that it was chocolate came from Mexico, and chocolate and hot chocolate and all that good stuff came from Mexico. But as I was diving a little bit deeper into it, I kind of started finding more information. Now, I learned that, I learned several different things. You can look at the blog for a little bit more details and stuff. You can read more about it. It's actually a really fascinating history. I actually hope to see if I can find a book on that one of these days. But if you know one, let me know in the comments because I'd love to read it. Now, I don't have a fancy pants kitchen. Not enough to be like a professional. You're gonna see my kitchen, well, a little bit. So, I tried my best. I had to like hold the phone in a particular way so you could see me mixing and stuff. So, but it's pretty simple. There isn't much to do with it. Okay, so I'll see you in a bit. Bye!
You will need a molinillo or a metal whisk, a chocolatera or a pot, Mexican chocolate, milk of your choice, and sugar. This is what a molinillo looks like, and that's chocolatera. That's my chocolate, and yeah. So let's get started. You just pour in the milk into the chocolatera. I don't measure things, but 6 to 10 cups is the sweet spot for my Mexican chocolate. And you're going to start off by turning on your stove at a low heat. Personally, at this point, I put it on low just because usually I'm making something else with this. But you are welcome to do whatever you want. I'm not. Then you're just going to go ahead and drop that in. I mean, you could wait till it's warm, whatever. I don't care. If I'm in a rush, I just, want it to be as minimal work as possible. And then what you're going to do is this is a personal thing. You don't have to do this. You can wait till the milk is a little bit warmer to start mixing. But I like frothing it at the beginning when it's still like cold and it's just barely starting to heat up the milk at the bottom. So yeah, now you're going to do this for maybe an eternity, maybe longer. I don't know, maybe till the end of time. But you want your milk to be frothy. It will be worth it in the end, I promise. Well, if it's the end of the time, you might not be able to taste it. But anyways, let's just move on. But yeah, you want to keep frothing this. A note about froth. If you use whole milk, it will be frothier. Just depending on the type of milk will impact how frothy your drink ends up being. Also, you might be noticing I'm using one hand to mix this. I'm sure you've seen people use the two-hand method where they are rolling it between their hands. I'm holding a camera, so I can't really do that. And personally, I just do it this way. You just do little tiny circles. It's okay. I'm usually making something else while I'm doing this, so do what works for you. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look. You see those little flecks of chocolate? That's a good sign. It means it's melting. It's disintegrating. And guess what you're going to keep doing? You're going to keep mixing it. Now, you might have noticed that I am occasionally lifting and kind of just looking at what's going on in there. I just like seeing the chocolate melt and become like this little muddled mess. You might be noticing like these really large chunks coming out. and you might not be used to seeing that in other Mexican chocolate. Well, I have a few flavors that I am trying out. This one is my Choco Espresso Mexican chocolate. So this one actually has pieces of coffee. I'm experimenting with the type of grind. So these are larger, and I think it just makes the entire thing a little bit more caffeinated. But check that out. It's just very pretty. Oh, it's just so pretty. So basically what you're going to keep doing is just keep mixing until you don't find that chunk anymore. And it's just going to keep going and going. It just depends how much milk you use. I promise you, all this mixing will be worth it in the end. The more you mix, the frothier it is. Now, if you take a closer look at the chocolate, it's actually looks like chocolate and has like these chunky pieces of coffee in it. You know it's done when you can't find the chocolate chunk anymore. Another thing that I'd like to note at the end of it, I usually like to kick it up a little bit to high heat because then it'll froth, and then I'll mix it for a few minutes. It's not a long time, just like a couple minutes, a minute maybe. But that's what I like to do. Now you get your nice cup here, and what you're gonna do, because this is a Choco Espresso, if it's a regular Mexican chocolate, you don't strain it. But because it is a Choco Espresso, it has pieces of coffee in it. I don't like chewing on them when I'm drinking it, so I strain my chocolate. I could have gone the route of just using instant coffee in there, but I hate the taste of instant coffee, and I found that this method brings out the flavors of the chocolate and the coffee at the same time, which is what I love to do. So I didn't off the stove because I think I had forgotten, and I'm just gonna go ahead and use a strainer. Then you pour it in, and it's ready to be served. Some things that I'd like you to know: I think it tastes best when you just heat it up, but I also like to drink this cold. So you could pour this over ice, or you can put it in the fridge and save it for later. Just give it a good froth before you consume it, because it'll just taste better that way.
Wasn't that delightful? Isn't that fun? I'm drinking some of it right now. I have a few different varieties. I haven't released all of them because I'm still trying to figure out how to avoid sugar bloom and fat bloom, especially when I'm mixing coffee beans in it. So that one is the Choco Espresso chocolate bar that I make. It's really caffeinated. I'm still learning though. I'm still trying to figure out how to present that a little bit better, make it easier for people, but still using my freshly roasted coffee. So, but yes, for that one you have to strain. Any other ones you don't really have to. I'll be coming up with new ones. I'm still experimenting, but I have two right now, which is like the regular Mexican hot chocolate and then the Choco Matcha, which is so good. You get caffeinated. That's another reason why I wanted to do hot chocolate. So it wakes you up. That's why I'm alive today. And anyways, I will see you next time. Let me know if you want to see more of anything, really. I've been talking a lot about art business, by the way, and I want to apologize. It's just like the thing that's on my mind constantly right now. But I want to come out with more time-lapse videos and just like more about my coffee, because I have been neglecting that severely, and it's because I don't have a fancy kitchen, and I'm like, but I need a fancy kitchen to do all these things and make it fun and blah blah blah. I gotta get over it, but one of these days I will, though. I will. But I will see you next time. Bye.